Hello everyone, welcome back to Crazy TV, and in today's episode I have such precious content video for you guys. You guys mind will be blown because my mind was blown. Where do we go after we die? Are aliens, extraterrestrials real? How about parallel universes? How about the ghosts, orbs, and paranormal stories that we all have as a child? Are the cosmos and astral traveling, are they real, and how does it happen? And we're gonna get into all of that. And Miss Gina is an expert at this. She's someone who's able to connect to extraterrestrials, yes, aliens. She has been to multi-dimensions. She has astral traveled before. She has a gift where she is able to open up herself into all of these planes, the other side that we're always so curious and talking about. All right, no time wasted. Let's get into the video.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Oh my god, I'm so excited to talk to you. Is there a name I would refer to you, like, as call you like a psychic, a astral traveler?
No, I don't believe so. I don't think I can fit into either one. I'm definitely not a master of any of them. I'm able to do a few different things, and but yeah, no, I wouldn't refer to myself as anything but myself.
So I really wanted to ask you about, you wrote ghost and paranormal stories since you were young. Can you share a little bit of that?
Like super early, like when I was probably a toddler, around 3 years old, 5. Mm-hmm. I often used to have these orbs, 2 orbs that would always show up that I would play with. And they would like come onto my walls. At times one was like kind of like a yellowy glow, and the one was a little bit more orange, and I would play with them. I'd put my hands on them, and they'd run, and I'd chase them, and those orbs are actually still with me now. I see them mainly in times of like huge stress or change. They'll just appear, and they're kind of comforting. I feel like there was some kind of like, I guess because they used to show up when I was a child, they're like childhood energy. My first interaction with something that was of a different kind of energy was when we moved into a house in a place in Bingley in West Yorkshire in England. It was a house that I instantly didn't like, and I didn't really know at the time, but as we spent more time there and I was living there, I kept seeing these kind of really dark creatures that were mainly like, they looked like they were made of smoke. And if I was asked to go down to, we had a coal shed below the kitchen, and they would have to ask me to fill up the coal scuttle to bring up for the coal fires, and I would not want to do it because the first couple of times I would do that, they kind of crowd me and hold me in an area, and they really terrified me. There were certain hot spots in the house where I just could not be, and it was really hard for my parents to actually believe that something was going on, because it wasn't like a night terror, it was like an all-day terror. There was a time when my mother, myself, and my sister went away on vacation with my grandmother, and whilst we were gone, the energy, I guess, had then gone after my father, and he kept smelling a horrible like sulfur smell and a fishy smell. And it had an attic upstairs. For whatever reason, whilst we were gone, this pool of liquid would just start oozing from the floor, and he would mop it furiously, constantly. But the more he mops, the more it came. And he got angry, and he threw the mop down the stairs because he was so mad. And as he did that, something pushed him and threw him down the stairs and broke his legs. Needless to say, we moved out of that place pretty quickly.
Do you think this is a person, a ghost? Like, what is it?
I don't believe it to be a ghost. I believe it to be possibly an energy that's stuck in a place where there's other oppressive energy that then changes the actual essence of your spirit to resonate with whatever else is holding you in that space. And I believe it to be almost like how a poltergeist is, like how a poltergeist manifests. It's often like a spirit that just can't cross over, that then becomes confused, angry, upset, and all those fearful energies that in turn, we all know what that does, like with those fearful energies, it then leaves you open to a darker kind of evil. There were several of them that I saw, and they were all very small creatures that were like of black smoke.
So were they used to be human, kind of?
Again, it's possible, because I do believe that there are some what I would call a program life form. A part of their dimensionality is removed. So like, for instance, shadow people, I believe are program life forms who have had a part of their soul essence removed, and they are open to all that negative dark energy, and anybody who's depressed or mental illness, things like that. That's the kind of energy that attracts. Shadow people, I don't believe. I mean, they're not everywhere. I mean, you can look them up, and I'm sure you've heard about them. They're not everywhere. Ghosts, I believe, there's two different things, because I believe there's realms that we exist in, which is not the same as a dimension. A dimension is a state of being. It's a frequency vibration. Whereas a realm is, if you want to look at it, as more of a separate world. But you are able to resonate with that realm. Psychics, are able to see them. And with the same with the dimensional, the state of being, you're able to change that frequency to see them. Now, there is another kind of ghost, but it's not really a ghost. It's basically a timestamp. Let's say, for instance, there's been a murder, right? Something terrible happened in that place. And perhaps somebody sees the same ghost all the time, repeating the same actions. That ghost, it can't see you, and it's just going about the same pattern. But really what it is, it's a photographic snapshot that's being held in place.
How about stories like where ghosts haunt people, or like that take form of maybe your family members, mimic voices?
I mean, there are genuine ghosts that are family members that do look over us and that do come and visit. Lots of people see them and interact with them. The ones that mimic voices, I believe them to be more of a demonic nature. For instance, like teenagers and stuff who get into the Ouija board, right? They start playing with that kind of stuff. They might get poltergeists. They might get these ghosts that follow them around. They may even get entities that attach to them because they've opened up that portal. And with the energetic being that they're vibrating at, because it's so emotional, it's up, it's down, it's this, it's that, it's acceptance, it's all, and again, a lot of fear-driven stuff. That's when you will get an attachment by an entity.
What do you mean furniture? Like they move the furniture, kind of?
Oh, sometimes like maybe an entity or even just a regular ghost that's passed over and hasn't truly passed over, may become very connected to their special chair that they used to sleep in, or they fell asleep in, or they had good memories with, or maybe even who knows what memories they had. They'll get attached to that. So that's when you'll see things like a rocking chair just moving on its own. It may get angry because it doesn't want you to sit in it, but he doesn't really understand that you can't see it, The one time that I actually realized that the people that I was seeing were actually people who had passed on a long time ago was I was around 5 years old, maybe 6 actually, and I was in my bed. It was a summer's night, and I'd gone to bed early because I had sunburn. I'd woken up and I'd tried to turn over my sheets, and I couldn't turn them over. I was like, what the heck? So then I turned and had a look, and there was a man sitting on my bed, and he had a beautiful smile, really beautiful smile, and the energy that he gave off was just like, it was almost like somebody cradling you. It was lovely. And he had like a uniform on and a hat, and he just smiled, and I smiled back. We didn't talk. I don't remember even saying anything, but he just smiled. He just patted me on the shoulder, and then he got up, and then he just walked through the wall.
Whoa.
Ordinarily, when he walked through the wall, that was the thing that was like, what just happened there? So I called my mom up, quite hysterical, like, there's a man in the house, and he walked through a wall. Anyway, so when I described him to my mom, I said, he was like this tall, he had this army uniform on, and he had curly hair, it was coming out of his hat. And she was like, wait a minute. So my mom said, okay, well, come on, I'm going to get some pictures out. And my mom got some photographs out, and she showed me army shots of men in uniform, in army. She's like, did it look like any of these people? And I went, yeah, that's him. And I pointed him out on the back road. It happened to be my grandfather, who passed away, who never got to see me born. And it was my mother's father.
So would you describe this as like a spirit or a ghost, or like?
I would describe that as spirit coming back to say hello.
Was this person like you would see me, like very
like you, looking fully alive and vibrant, not see-through, nothing like that? I have seen ones that are more faded. I would prefer to use that term rather than see-through or something. Faded meaning I don't know, maybe energetically they're not able to materialize in the maximum capacity anymore.
Do you have any experience with like Ouija boards or games that you could talk to them?
One time I did do the Ouija board. I will never do it again. It was when I was actually quite young, in actual fact. I think I was around, I want to say 12. It was the summer break from school. My mum was a nurse, so she was out and stuff. And we had like a whole bunch of people. We made it that we had 13 people that all had to be involved in it. Initially, it was interesting because it was answering questions, and it was like giving us dates, and it was giving us names. And then all of a sudden, it was like something else just took over. or something else came in, because it, again, with that energy that you're putting out as a teenager and you're wide open, something really, really dark came in, and the whole table was going crazy. That none of us could hold our hands on the glass. All the paper was going everywhere. Yeah, no, this is not word of a lie. And we did this in my house. And then we had this big brass plate that was on the wall opposite, and the plate came off the wall and flew straight at me, and I ducked just so it didn't hit me. And then I ran out of the house. That was it. And I burned the Ouija board, set up and broke the glass, and I said, never again. I've never touched it since. You know, it's almost like if you imagine yourself being blindfolded and go, oh, hey, put your hand in this bag and let's see what candy you get. You don't even know what you're putting your hand into. And you don't know what candy you're going to get, whether you're going to like it or whether you're going to love it. And I believe that a lot of the lower vibrating frequencies, I don't know how to put this, but I feel that they can actually pick up on that receiver, that there's a Ouija board going on right now. So I think the chance of getting a demonic spirit rather than something that's actually going to help anybody do anything good is way higher.
Do you personally believe in like the chakras and like
I do
crystals and things like that?
It's, you can feel them when there's blockages, you know. So, and I do believe them. It's like very ancient, like with the yoga and the Kundalini and raising the serpent spirit, which is all about bringing higher vibration, you know. I believe that quartz crystal is actually a very important crystal for us. I believe it actually you can actually time travel with it. I believe you can see creatures like Loch Ness. The Loch Ness, the bed of the lake is actually all quartz crystal. Inside those pyramids in is it Tulum? Teotihuacan. They're all
right, like you said, Loch Ness. Can we not see them because they're in another dimension?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Ooh.
But I believe that the quartz crystal and the bed from the quartz, it allows the creature to travel between two time zones or several time zones, or who knows where he goes, you know. Actually, in a lot of the places where a lot of strange creatures are seen, there's a high amount of quartz. And even the megalithic stones like Stonehenge and the ones in France, I can't remember the names of them, high content of quartz. And I believe them to be like a recorder as well of memory, or like almost like a computer where it can store information.
A lot of people had questions, where do we go after we die?
Some people, when they have passed, and I know that they get the bright light, they get the tunnel, they get the energies, or you know, like the family members to take them over there. Yes, there is an afterlife, and I believe in actual fact that we travel through the gate of the sun, which is the bright light. It's almost like time travel. It's like a wormhole, and we travel through that to basically a whole other beautiful universe. It's just a beautiful place where there's like lots of orbs flying around. You're not in your physical body anymore, but you can be recognized by your frequency vibration.
There, do we decide to reincarnate and come back?
You do, yeah. You definitely decide to reincarnate. In actual fact, you choose out your next family depending on what your karmic situation has been, again, and it will depend upon what we felt perhaps we didn't complete, or if we didn't perhaps get a different experience that we would like to have, you know, or if we want a different experience and we want to be able to deal with that in a different way. You only ascend at the time of dying to go over to your next task of learning.
Do we always reincarnate to humans?
No, you don't. You can actually reincarnate depending on where you are at dimensionality with your vibration. You can actually reincarnate into a mantis being if you're 8th dimension 12. But I called them on this one occasion. They came, and the craft actually landed, believe it or not, in the back garden of her friend's house. It was kind of a big garden. And that craft again was made out of, it was actually a blue slate and the letters lit up blue.
Share this video with your friends so we can all get this talk started. Share positivity. And remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell because I reply to all my early birds. Yes, once I upload a video, you're here early, I reply to you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a magical day.